Today we are going to be talking about pillow wraps. You're going to have such a good time with this lesson. I am so excited to talk about this because a company that we order from came up with these burlap looking, it's not quite burlap, but that's actually good because burlap is really fuzzy and hard to deal with. But they came out with these wonderful wraps and they Velcro. Now I'm going to show you, there's a little bit of paint on the back side of this, so don't get dismayed about that. I wanted to make sure paint would adhere and do all of that kind of stuff. So I painted it the same color as this, but it Velcros on and off. And when I was looking at this, I've painted about a jillion projects using a product I'm going to tell you about in a minute. And I was like, oh, I think I could do a no-sew version of that. And then you could, if you wanted it pre-assembled, Carrie's I'd rather buy this than that person, and I'm a rather I'd do this than this person. So we're going to do both. This is a brand new product on our website. And what I love about this is you can just take that wrap off and you can store that away, put your next season on, and you can seasonalize your pillows without buying a brand new pillow, without, all of that, the stuff, the drudgery stuff. And it gives you a different surface to paint with. It gets you off of the walls and onto your sofa. And you can just do whatever jazzy stuff you want to do using this Velcro pillow wrap. Okay, so this is called Roc-Lon, and it's Roclon. And what this is it is drapery lining fabric that you will find in the back of your hotel drapes. That is what this product is for. It is made out of a super not light scent, it won't let light in. And it's kind of a little bit made out of, chemical-y stuff and whatever, but you can cut it into any shape. I've done leaf cutouts on the bottom of banners to hang by the door. I've done spider webs. I've done just a jillion different cutout things, and I'm going to show you how to prep this and paint this. This one is already painted. As you paint it, you're going to get heavier and heavier and heavier surface. So you can paint both sides if you want to, but you don't need to. Okay, so that's what it looks like painted, but I'm going to show you how I would paint this if it were me, and I've done so many of these. I think I've been doing this for almost 18 years. So you're going to get a piece of wax paper that's long, and I like to paint on the textury side. There's a side that is textury, and there's a side that's kind of super smooth. I prefer the texture. It feels a little bit more like canvas, so that is one of the tricks, I guess, is which side to paint on. I'm going to move that down so I can get my paint on my palette. We have these palettes on our website that come really long, and you can cut them to size. So I've cut something just a little bit longer because I'm going to be rolling. This is a difficult surface to paint with a brush. Okay, so you could use a foam brush, and the foam brush has some pressure that you can get from it. So you can actually get it into the fabric or the nap of the fabric. So you could use a foam brush. I really like a roller for this. And then it's a little bit silly when you see it. I'll probably do it at least once, but you'll see me roll myself up in this. So you roll into your paint, and I like a long piece of palette so that I can get a good, nice, even roll. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to push, and then I'm gonna go away from me. So I'm gonna push and push into my surface, and then I'll turn the whole thing around. And then as I get over there, see how that was grabbing? So it likes to grab, and I'll do it on purpose. See how that does that? It always does this. So you just have to make sure you hang on. Not a big deal. You can paint on both sides, it doesn't matter. You can use this. We've got videos on our YouTube channel for a really cute table runner. So you can cut these into table runner sizes. You can cut them into any size you want because it comes in those 54-inch bolts that it's always in. It's at Joann's always. I'm assuming Hobby Lobby. Where crafters are making curtains, that's where you're going to look. Roc-Lon, blackout weight drapery lining fabric. So many words, but that is the key to finding it. We have carried this on our different websites and stuff. don't buy it from us because we're going to charge you money for cutting it down and doing all of that. Go to those fabric stores and get it there. You're just going to get a hank of it. You do want to make sure that your bolt isn't wrinkly because this does not like to unwrinkle. So once you get something like rolled up wrong or something like that, it can be kind of a pain. Like never lean it against a kitchen countertop because it'll put that like line straight through. So you want to keep it nice and rolled or however you're going to store it. We've always rolled them for sale at trade shows. We've always sold out. People are like, I don't want to mess with it, whatever. So, or you can buy this pre-made one that's already pre-Velcroed and pre-everything. So anyway, so you're going to do 2 coats of paint in this color. This is number 18. And you're just really going to push into it. If you get any squishes out the side of your roller because you've maybe overloaded it, then just go back and flatten them out. This takes a little bit of time to dry. Like it's easy to paint. It's just a little fuddly when you're doing the base coat. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. Let me just scooch him up just a little bit. I did this on my table earlier and I was sad about it. So definitely use the wax paper, it's much better. And if you have wax paper and you just move it around your edge, you can do that too. I only use these for fabric scissors. These are my Gingers. If you have a really good sharp set of good scissors, you can do that. You just want to be really slow and cautious when you're doing it. When I've done the cutout leaves and done all of that, I've used X-Acto knives and I've waited until after I've painted. And you could do that actually with the scissors on this. You could paint your hank of Roc-Lon and then you could roll it all out and then measure and then cut. It gets a little bit thicker as the paint layers dry, so it's a little bit nicer to deal with as after it's not quite so flexible. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there and then I'm going to move to my finished one. Oh, actually, I'm going to show you how to base coat on this one and then we're going to get painting. All right, so let's talk about color and let's talk about why you would paint the burlap. They actually have them in burlap and they have them in white, so those will be on the website. So these are pillow covers from IKEA. This is a ginormous one. Ooh, this is a really big one. Okay, we're going to pretend like it's not ginormous. This is, hello, there goes my whole body. So pretend like it's about the same size. This is an 18-inch, I think, pillow. These are 40 inches long by 8 inches. The burlap color would look really pretty on this black. It's just gorgeous. Then you could stencil right on top of this material. And Bob's your uncle. Hang on. You've got a finished product in no time at all. So that is a really cool thing. These are affordable. So that's great. So a black or the green would be good with this. So whatever will behave well with your burlap color. But I don't have that house, so I need to have mine painted. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we did earlier. This is see-through. I can actually see the camera when I hold that up, even after I've painted it. So it's got some breathability. So in order to do the base coat for that, we're going to put some wax paper because you'll see it does a giant amount of, and this one does not do any bleeding through. So we do the same thing, just apply our paint. You're going to do 2 coats. It needs the second coat just to be like solid. And that's what you're going to do to paint this. You go right on it. You could seal it if you wanted to and see if that made a difference. I haven't done that step yet. I'm happy with the paint doing that, but it definitely bleeds through. So you can clean up your mess and make it a little bit less messy there. And then on your other end, where you have the Velcro, then you're going to switch into maybe this like oval dome brush. So you can give yourself a masking tool. And then you can pick that up and then you can just stipple away to get it close to your Velcro, but not on your Velcro. And that does a fabulous job. So you don't need to worry about that. All right, so I am going to use the Buffalo Plaid stencil, and this is the _1, which means it's the smallest size that we offer. And it is exactly the size that I need for this project. Okay, so we're going to pick up our black paint. It's number 28. And in the stripy areas, I'm going to stipple, and in the big holes, I'm going to swirl a little bit. Nope, I'm going to stipple the whole thing. Much easier. This has just got enough flexibility. If I start moving the fabric around, I'm going to be mad about it. So I'll just stipple. Okay, I'm going to come back to you when this is finished, and then I'm going to show you how you move your stencil to be able to carry it on. Okay, let's take a peek. And perfection. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so something that you want to know about, if you're going to scale something across, you want to start stenciling on this side so that it's dry by the time you move it over. This took me about 2 or 3 minutes, so it doesn't take a really long time. Super easy to do. It's just stippling. The jumbo dauber makes it a joy to do, because if you're in the biggest of the other, you're going to be at it way longer. So you're probably going to double your time. And this coverage is perfect. And like, I love that brush. We designed that brush, so of course I love that brush. All right, so then we peel that off. We move this down. It's going to be wet. It's going to stay wet for a while. And then you are going to, you have to do it so that your pattern lines up, obviously. I know I'm speaking obvious things. And you want to just kind of jiggle it to get it right about where you want it. I hand cut my Roc-Lon, so I'm going to let this walk just a teeny bit. If I have any, I can see where I really hand cut my Roc-Lon. If I have anything that's super irregular, number one, it's going to be wrapped around a whole pillow. You're not going to be able to tell. You can use a straight edge to cut with. You can do all kinds of things to make straighter edges when you're cutting. So don't feel like you have to just scissor, scissor, scissor. Just give yourself some grace, but know that it is going to be wrapped. It would be so cool. And I don't think I mentioned this. This is no-sew. So you're going to leave your raw edges, you're going to leave your raw ends, and you're going to use some Velcro that just uses glue. You're not going to worry about any of this. So this is super easy to do. With this one, it's already, the other one, it's already pre-sewn, so you don't have to worry about sewing and doing all that there either. All right, so we just move it over, start stippling. Watch the big brushes when they start getting full of paint, like if you've done like this whole 40 inches of this. It can be loaded up heavy, and then you can end up bleeding under, and stripes are really hard to fix. So watch how much you're offloading. Make sure you are offloading. Just give it a little bit heavier push. And you'll start feeling the brush feeling heavy. And I'm supposed to be starting over here, because that's going to be dry by the time I move it. So I'm going to go down there and get going on that. And then I'll catch you at the tail end. And ta-da! We ended up with just a little hair. I probably would cut that off. My brush is going to go in the water. All right, so when you use your stencils with so many repeats, sometimes you can get buildup and you'll stop getting a crisp edge. I don't think I'm actually there yet, but I did about 4 or 5 repeats right there. So I'm about ready for cleaning my stencils. So on our YouTube channel at Studio R12, you want to make sure that you go and watch the video on how to clean your stencils. It's super easy to do. Put that off to the side, let it dry. I'm going to blow dry. And then I want to bring up a point that Steve mentioned while we were filming, and that is, can you imagine trying to paint this whole thing by hand? That is what stencils are so good for. It is to repetition and ease of detail and all of that. So you need to make sure that you're using your stencils wisely, because you need stencils in your life. So one thing to remember that with the Roc-Lon, if you get anything that is a wrinkly mess or has any kind of fold to it or whatever, heating with the blow dryer is a really good way to relax the fibers and the fabric so that it will flatten out. Also, if you make banners, which I've done, like I said, for years, sometimes people get a little kick up in their banners. I have been very fortunate. I have not had this happen, but I will varnish the front and then varnish the back so that they each have equal weight. This is a pillow cover, so I don't think you're going to need to do that. But if you ever do need to do that with your banners, then know that you can do that. And so now we need to find the center of our fabric. So we're going to go here. We're just going to fold that down. I'm going to get the Ghost Writer, and you could go ahead and paint the back side so it's finished. If you are that kind of person, I'm just going to make a little line right there with my ceramic lead. And so that's right there. I'm right about this place here. And I've got a couple of stencils I want to share with you. So the Ghost Writer is available on studior12.com. Make sure you check that out. Make sure that you spin the wheel and get on our newsletter, because we share all kinds of information, and any of our sales and discounts will all be via email. We rarely do them via Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So know that that's where you're going to find the good stuff. All right, so I've got some stencils that we've pulled, and it was actually easier to find than I thought. So this is 8 inches tall by 40 inches long, but our space to design on, I think, is about 22 inches. This was the biggest one that I felt would still show on my pillow. So bring Mr. Pillow over here, and you can see this wraps just a little bit, but it is still all visible and you can see it. And it is the space that you would need for this surface size. I've got a big snowflake pattern that I might sprinkle around. And then I found a lot of luck finding stencils in our round surfaces, because the rounds are about 18 inches. So you could just go like Merry Christmas right in the middle. And you know, it comes with the rounds, but you don't have to use them, right? You can just put a piece of tape or just, you know, whatever you want to do with that, but you don't have to use the round. And then this one is Happy Holidays. And it has a little buffalo plaid actually with it too. And then this one is super fun. This is the Reindeer and Company Fine Reindeer Treats. And I may go with that. No, I think I need to go with Merry Christmas. I really love, this is one of our absolute best sellers. And the neat thing is, this is an underscore, let's see, our underscores tell you the sizes, and they're always written on the stencils, but this is an underscore 1, so this is the smallest size that we have. But you can get this in like sometimes up to 5 different sizes. So our website has all of these stencils that show you what sizes you can get, and it's amazing because most stencil companies do not give you sizes. And that is unfortunate because you never know what you're painting, right? And then don't forget your stencils are reusable. Unlike vinyl, where you're going to peel it up and you're going to get rid of it, stencils are reusable over and over and over again. And like you can use them infinitely. Like I've used this 5 times today, and now I can take this and go clean it. Make sure to check out that video. And then I can clean it, and it's good for another 100 times. As long as I don't bend them and fold them, they're good. So I think I am going to Merry Christmas, and we're going to go right here in the middle, and this comes with its own lines. So I'm just going to kind of straighten it out and get it in the center. I feel like that R is right there in the center-ish because the M is really big. Tape in your opposite sides. Make sure if you have not already subscribed, rung the bell, and given us a thumbs up, do one of those things for us because that helps our algorithm. YouTube loves that. And we want you to also know when we have new videos. Okay, we're gonna get one of our large dome brushes. We're all about the dome brushes here because the dome brush, unlike the flat brush, the flat brush pushes and kicks out when you push on it. So see how that could easily slip underneath your stencil? The dome brush does not do the same thing. So it does a flat move, and anything that's going to kick out is going to be in the middle, and so it doesn't actually sweep under your stencil, which causes bleeding, and that is a no-no. We don't like bleeding under. Okay, so we are going to Merry Christmas here, and I think instead of using a multi-masker, I love my multi-maskers, but this is long. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and fold my paper towel and keep myself from ghosting under. Ghosting is where if I stipple right here and I come onto this area of my project, then I've ghosted it with the S ghost. Okay, so we're just gonna hold that down. And we'll stipple. This will probably take at least 2 coats. You want to be careful if you get paint on your masking, which is my paper towel, that you don't put it down on the other side because sometimes there can be an edge of paint. So you want to be careful to use a clean edge. Here we go. We are ready to reveal. Dun, dun, dun. And it doesn't get much easier than that. Anytime you get a bristle that sticks, just know that you can brush that off when it's dry. Don't try to pick at it when it's wet like I was just doing. Okay, so one thing that we do want to do is use 1 coat of varnish on this. If it was going to hang outside, I'd do a couple coats. This is what happens when you leave your rollers in plastic, but maybe you have the handle still on it. So I take my baggie. This is a baggie without a Ziploc because it will seal up better. I roll it all the way up. This will last for 3-4 weeks. We've done it 5 weeks and it's been good. But once, if the handle's still in it, then the air gets in, and paint actually is an oxidation process. It doesn't dry unless air touches it. So that's why paint in a bottle will stay good, because the air isn't in there. And that's why when you get less and less and less of your paint, you'll get dry goobers in the bottom of your bottle because you have air in the bottle. Anyway, so this is hard enough to, you can't really hear it, but it's definitely crusty, so out that goes. So we'll go on to our roller and back into our wax paper. 1 coat will do a couple of things for you. It will protect the paint. You're putting it on your fabric, you're putting it on your couch, you know, you got family and guests and things for holidays and stuff like that. Just protect it. But also what it will do is will thicken up this fabric just a little bit more. As you put layers and layers of paint on it, it gets a little bit thicker. And so we're going to do the same thing we did earlier. This is matte varnish. This is Deco Art Duraclear matte varnish, and it is a polyurethane, so it's non-yellowing. If you get little bubbles, just roll over them gently. You can also sand your project. If you need to use sandpaper because you get too many like lumps and bumps and stuff like that, you can totally sand it. Works great. All right, so I have a couple of things to say about this. I should have, because sometimes you lose a bristle, should have looked at my bristle loss. I lost 1 there and 1 there. It's not going to be a big deal, but don't varnish over the top of your stray bristles. So that is a very good cue. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to apply some Velcro. I've got Home Improvement Industrial Strength Tape Velcro. So you're going to take this and you are going to cut and apply. I think I'm going to go with like a 1-inch piece, and then I'm going to put it in 1-inch pieces. Now, what is different about this than this is they are expecting you with this guy, they are expecting you to use this here or here or here, depending on the size of pillow. So if you want to do that, then you would just cut this in half and make a longer strip. So you could do that as well. I think these actually end up being pretty close to the 40-inch. My pillows are 40 inches are going to be perfect for them. So we're going to peel these. When you are applying this, this actually just meets in the middle. So you might want to, if you don't want to see any kind of buckling in your pillow, you might cut this at 42 inches long. So then we're going to put, what you can do to line this up perfectly is you can lay it on where you are going to be meeting. Just kind of get them started. And then I can cinch this in. Okay, so we're going to use our stomach. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Perfect. And then I will push those down and let them adhere. And that does a brilliant job. So there is our pillow. I hope you had just as much fun as I did, because these are amazing and I'm going to make them for all the seasons at my house. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next video.